Yo, what's up, everyone? Back for this Thursday slate. Only a four-gamer tonight. Nice short slate. Let's get into it. You can like the video down below and subscribe if you haven't already. Starting off at point guard, we have Kemba Walker. We have a couple of revenge spots here. Kemba heading back to Charlotte, and we have Terry Rozier facing off against his former team. Kemba has been really good this season. Price tag has taken a pretty big jump, though, from 85 in the mid 8Ks to in the low 9Ks. I think a lot of people will jump on the revenge scenario. I don't mind him at all. Jaylen Brown is also expected to be back, so that will take a little bit more usage away from him. I think it's a fine play. Just dollar for dollar, I think kind of prefer Damian Lillard here. He's been better than Walker. He's scored more 50-point games in a row, more 50-point games in total. He scored at least 50 DraftKings points in every game except for one, which is really amazing. Price tag is still cheap at only 9,100. He's literally averaging 31 points and almost 7.5 assists, 5 rebounds. He's basically been the entire offense, shooting over 40% from three. Like the matchup here against the Clippers, I think it will be a close game, a hot competitive game. Lillard will have to just do what he's been doing to keep his team in it. So I gotta like Lillard at 9,100. Don't mind Devin Booker either at 84. We saw what he can do last time out against the Sixers. Put up a nice 40-piece on 15 of 19 shooting. He's just a nice player, shooting 50% from three to start off the year. And with some of the other weapons that the Suns have now, it's not like teams can just double Booker like they were last year and in years past. They've just been trapping him last season. But now with Oubre, with Rubio, been handling the ball a little bit more, Booker can play off ball, get open, and knock down his shots. I like him at that price tag. But it's just tough to get away from like Jimmy Butler at 7,200 against the Suns. Fast-paced game. His price tag took a big hit after he only played 29 minutes. The last two games have been blowouts, but the Suns have been playing really good basketball this season. At home, I think the Suns can keep it close. And Butler should go back to playing in the mid-30s, and mid-30s out of Butler should definitely return value. Shot just 3 of 12, but he still put up 33 fantasy points last time out. Just does everything on the court. Points, rebounds, assists, steals. Great defensive player, obviously. CJ McCollum is cheap as well, 6,100. He hasn't been as consistent as Lillard or as good as Lillard to start off the year, but he can still get the job done at 61. I'm interested in both of them. I think they're both priced pretty nicely. And then with Brown back, you don't really have to play Marcus Smart. I'm also liking Dennis Schroeder here, 5,300 for Schroeder. On the Thunder side, he's been playing solid minutes, playing in the 30s in a couple of the games, playing like high 20s in close games. He, last time out, just had a bad night, 2 of 11 from the field. But he has been closing the games out in most of these games. He's taken on a lot of usage off the bench, and he can put up a solid like high 30s, mid 30s, low 40s score here just because he is very aggressive. They need offense. He's going to take 13-plus shots. He's taken 13 shots in every game except for a couple this year. He's not shooting the ball particularly well, but you would expect those numbers to go up, and with that, you would expect his fantasy points to go up. Coming off the bench, he gets a pretty good matchup against like Patty Mills and whoever comes off the bench. If White's out, then you probably get like some Marco Bellinelli defense out there. So Schroeder at 53, I think is a really good option, point per dollar wise. Small forward here, Tatum's up to 78. Not super interested in that price tag. Think with the Celtics guys being priced up now, I don't really have a ton of interest in them because they're all priced up and Brown's back. I think probably one or two of them will go off, but now it's back to kind of just which one's going to have a good shooting night. Out of all the Celtics, I think Kemba is probably the best play just because he's going back to Charlotte. But a small forward, like I said, Jimmy Butler is just tough to get away from. 7,200, the price tag is just too good. The matchup's too good. Going to be a high-scoring game. I just really want to get him in there. I will skip over power forward, but I'll just touch on the guys I like. Kawhi Leonard, after resting last time out, should go back to playing mid-30s in minutes, 34-ish minutes tonight. He's just been taking a ton of shots for the team, 26, 32 shots. No wonder he has to take some rest days. His arms get tired from shooting the ball that much. Matchup here against Portland. They are a solid team, solid overall, just pretty good defense. Coming off a bad loss, though, against the Warriors. Kawhi Leonard's a fine play at 96 if it can get up to him. Aldridge has just been up and down this season. Thought it was a really good spot last time out. Just didn't really get the job done. He did get 4 blocks in like the first half, but in the second half did nothing. I think you can still go back to him against the Thunder just because they don't really have anybody to put on him, just because they play pretty small. It'll be tough for Gallinari to keep up with Aldridge at that price tag. Speaking of Gallo, I think you can go to him at 6,100. That's a fine price tag. And then if you want some value, you could probably go maybe Saric looks nice, Kaminsky, Lyles. So that's what I'd look at power forward. At center here, I'm liking Bam Adebayo. 7K. Just a couple blowouts have kept his minutes low. Maybe that'll keep some people away. Price tag is low as well, which is nice to see. A bad shooting game, but I think this is a good spot for him. Centers have done pretty well against the Suns. A really good matchup against the front court. Adebayo just also will do a little bit of everything on the court. Jimmy Butler might take a little bit away from assists and stuff, but still going to be a double-double threat every time he's out there. Like the matchup a lot against Aaron Baines. And Adebayo is really good at racking up blocks and steals as well, and those can accumulate to big scores. A 7K, nice price tag on Adebayo. I like that. At the guard position, I think you can go to Terry Rozier at 68. That looks fine. DeJounte Murray, 63. Seems like every other game is going off, so maybe that could be tonight. McCollum's fine as well. First time this season I'm going to Chris Paul, I would think. I like the price tag, 6,500. He's finally been consistent the last couple games, I think. Just took him a little bit to get used to the offense, maybe. But he should be having a pretty solid season as long as he is still into it. His team isn't terrible. They still have some solid players like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Schroeder's fine. You got Gallinari, Adams. If they want to, if they're all locked in, they can be a decent team. They're not going to make like any noise in the West, but they can still finish with like 35-ish wins. I think Paul at 6,500 is just a nice play just because he can get you 40 fantasy points. He's going to hopefully play like over 30 minutes, and he's been averaging a point per minute on the season, a little bit over a point per minute. He put in like 34-ish, like 32 to 34 minutes. That's about hitting 6x value, and you can have a blow-up game as well anytime, so Chris Paul, he hasn't had a double-double yet. He hasn't really been doing a ton with the assists. I think that should change, but it's also they do have some other ball handlers like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Schroeder. And last but not least, don't have a lot of value on the slate, so I think I'll go to Rodney Hood as of now, 3,800. He's definitely a hit-or-miss kind of guy, but you just got to love the minutes that he's playing. They are dealing with some injuries at the forward position, so he's just playing a ton of minutes. 36 minutes last time out, 31, 34. He's either going to have a good shooting game or a bad shooting game. Seems like he's not really have one in the middle. But at only 3,800, he's going to be out there 35-ish minutes. He can just run into some peripherals, hopefully, and hopefully he can score like 10-plus points. That's all I really need out of him, like 20, 25 fantasy points. But he can get you 30-plus, so definitely has that upside. But the floor is also pretty low for him. But I think with the lack of value right now, maybe that'll change later in the day. That's what I'm liking as of now. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it, and good luck today.